Have you ever thought about superpowers? Flying, changing your form, reading minds, all that awesome stuff we see in comic books. Well, what if I told you that one of the most detailed, most incredible blueprints for these abilities actually comes from ancient Buddhist philosophy? Yeah, it's this amazing system where power isn't about being the strongest, but about profound spiritual achievement.
So, how in the world does this ancient system work? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to break it all down, looking at the foundation of these powers, then the 6 core abilities themselves, and then we'll get into the really cool part, the art of performing miracles. And finally, we'll talk about the real purpose behind it all. And we're going to be drawing from a classic text, the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra. Let's dive in.
Okay, so before we even get to the levitating and walking through walls, the text lays down some really crucial groundwork. It doesn't just give us a list of cool powers. First, it explains exactly where they come from. It actually classifies all of these powers into 3 fundamental tiers.
So get this. These abilities aren't just some random magic trick. They're seen as the natural result of some seriously deep spiritual work. You've got holy power, which comes straight from mastering meditation. Then there's dharma power, which is basically the strength you get from living a virtuous life. And finally, innate power, which is the result of all the good karma you've built up over past lives. Basically, the text is saying these powers aren't a gift. They're earned through your own inner development. Okay, so building on that foundation of how these powers are even generated, the text then outlines 6 specific core abilities. These are known as the 6 abhijna, and they're kind of like the complete spiritual toolkit for a fully realized being. These are the big ones.
These 6 abilities, they cover the whole spectrum, from interacting with the physical world all the way to achieving total mental purity. And while every single one of them is profound, we're going to zoom in on that first one, the power of miraculous states, because that's where we get into the classic superpowers, and it reveals a really fascinating distinction in how they're supposed to work.
All right, so this first ability is all about interacting with reality on a really fundamental level. But it's not just one single simple power. The text breaks it down into 2 very distinct but equally powerful ways of operating.
And this is the key question the text asks. When a Buddha performs some incredible miracle, are they changing something that's already there, like turning a rock into bread? Or are they creating something completely new, literally out of thin air? Well, the answer is, they can do both.
The text separates these 2 ideas so clearly. On one side, you've got transformation. Think of it like a master carpenter turning a real block of wood into a real chair. You're altering something that already exists. But on the other side, you have emanation, and that's more like a projector creating a perfect holographic image of a chair. It looks and feels real, but it's a manifestation created from nothing. So if we dive a little deeper into transformation, this is the power to just fundamentally reshape the physical universe. And the source text gets incredibly specific here. It actually outlines 18 distinct types of these abilities. And the scale of these abilities is just mind-blowing. We're not talking about just shaking a single room. The text says this power can vibrate entire universes. It includes things like shooting fire and water from your body at the same time, changing stone into gold, and just walking through solid mountains like they're not even there. It's total command over the laws of physics.
Now let's flip to the other side of the coin, emanation. The text defines it with this really beautiful, simple line. It's not about changing something that already exists. It's about bringing form out of the formless, creating an appearance where there was nothing before. So this power is almost always described as being used for teaching and helping people. A Buddha could, say, create countless versions of themselves to teach in different worlds all at once, or create an illusory palace just to demonstrate a point, or even make a voice appear from the sky to deliver a message. These manifestations are really just incredible tools for communication. But here's the thing. It's so easy to get fixated on the spectacular, world-shaking powers, but they're really only one piece of the puzzle. The other core abilities are less about doing and more about a kind of profound, limitless perceiving.
So take the divine ear. This isn't just super hearing. It's the ability to perceive any sound across any distance, anywhere in the universe. But its purpose isn't some kind of cosmic eavesdropping. No, it's an instrument of boundless compassion. It allows a Buddha to hear the cries of all beings who need help, no matter where they are.
And in the same way, the divine eye isn't just supervision. It's the ability to see the entire vast process of cause and effect, of karma, playing out across countless lifetimes. It allows you to see why beings are born into their circumstances, giving you a complete and total understanding of their journey.
This is the power of ultimate context. It's the ability to recall not just your own past lives, but the past lives of everyone else. To understand the long, intricate, complex story that has led every single being to the exact moment they're in right now. You can just imagine the kind of empathy and wisdom that would come from that.
So this all brings us to the most important question of all. Why? Why would anyone seek these incredible powers? What's the ultimate point? Well, the text is crystal clear that it has absolutely nothing to do with fame or control or personal gain.
And this brings us to the sixth and final power, which reveals the entire system's true goal. After all the world shaking and the mind reading and the universe hearing, the ultimate ability is completely internal. It's the power of extinguishing defilements, the wisdom that completely purifies your own mind of all greed, all hatred, and all ignorance. That right there is the real superpower.
So why have all the other powers then? Well, here's the final word from the text itself. They are what's called skillful means. They exist for one of two reasons: to inspire people and draw them toward a path of wisdom, and to directly help and bring happiness to those who are suffering. That's it.
And that's really the key takeaway from this whole thing. In this philosophical framework, power is never, ever for its own sake. It is fundamentally tied to wisdom and compassion. The abilities to reshape reality or perceive across universes are simply tools. They're instruments in the service of helping every other living being out there.
So this ancient text leaves us with this incredible question to think about. It asks us to totally reimagine what power even means, not as a force for control, but as an expression of boundless, active compassion. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? It suggests that maybe the greatest power in the entire universe is just the ability to care perfectly.